Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I'm back. I fully intended to attempt stream on Friday, and then I fully intended to attempt stream on the weekend, and my brain said, no, you should curl up in the corner with anime and games, because you feel bad. So I did that instead. That was productive. Well, I'm back. We're back. I didn't have any ideas. I grabbed some random stuff. One of the random things I grabbed was, in fact, pre-made pizza dough. So it's pizza dough. I didn't want to make pizza. I didn't really plan out super thoroughly today. So hey, Hot Pockets. Everyone loves Hot Pockets. Because I didn't want to just make a pizza. We've done that before. Pre-made pizza dough means I'm cutting short a lot of the production time of the pizza. I realized I forgot to wipe the countertop off, so doing that real quick while I'm in the chit-chat phase. I've got a lot of random odds and ends too, so I didn't want to just make like a pizza. So we can do all sorts of things. We are going to do one with this giant log of pepperoni. If you really love pepperoni, you should buy it like this, in giant log form, because it's the most economical for the amount you get. All you have to do is figure out how to slice it yourself. We've also got a breadfruit. They're back. They've come back around again. I grabbed one because they don't seem to stick around very long these days. I'm guessing they don't sell super well, so they aren't keeping them in stock. But they do bring them in when they are available. And also a delicata, which we may or may not use at all today. But I want to give it a go at some point. This is going to keep. This is a nice sort of sturdy thing. This will keep for at least a little while. I can think about what I want to do with it. We could use some of that today. In fact, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. I am going to start by preheating my oven. We'll put it at a toasty 400. I've looked up some ideas. Basically, what Hot Pockets are tiny, or they're small calzones. They're hand pies. They're not typically made with pizza dough. In fact, they're made with some proprietary dough that's really, really freezer stable, really microwavable, and really not very pleasant to eat. So I'm not really following any of these recipes. That one's got 420. I'm just looking at them for temperatures. One's got 400, one's got 425. I know pizza wants to be hot. Pizza dough wants a lot of excess heat, high heat. What's this one? This one's got 375. That seems low. We're gonna air high. I'm gonna click us to 4.25. So that can get preheated. I can't imagine we're gonna take a super amount of time today. We're mostly just gonna be prepping ingredients and then making big old dough pockets. So let's pop over to our countertop. I'm gonna get this. We're gonna start with this guy. I'm gonna get this guy out of its bag. This is that same brand of bagged pizza dough I've used before. We're just gonna get it into a bowl and let it expand. It's close to room temp now. Do you want the big bowl? I think we want the big bowl just to make sure. It's close to room temp now because I got it out a little bit ahead of time, so it's very poofy. But I want to make sure it has every chance to finish rising because we're gonna beat it flat when we use it for the pockets. And also, it's real sticky. It's especially getting stuck to itself in here. So, to that end, and to prevent it becoming glued to the bowl, we're going to oil up the bowl. Oil up your bowl. Italian breads, in my experience, generally go better with olive oil rather than flour as the anti-sticking agent. This obviously isn't a traditional pizza item that I'm making, but the concept I think still holds. The olive oil will give us better flavor, although it can inhibit the stickage when you want to stick something to itself. So we'll see, I guess. I'm probably going to go with an egg wash to seal it either way. Just don't want to leave any dough in the bag. I would make my own dough. You can make a pizza dough that does not need a long rise. I've done that before. But a big reason why I'm doing this specific project today is that I had this on hand and I wanted to use it. It was actually dated yesterday, so we should use it. So that's part of the reason. Always part of my reason is I've got a thing that I want to use up, so we have to use the thing up, so we kind of assemble our concept around that thing for the day. And today's thing is, of course, pizza dough. So, this guy is just going to, we're going to go for a simple lid. Instead of getting out some extra plastic, we will just clamshell it with a different bowl. Set that aside and it can be gently rising while I assemble fillings. I know I want to make a pizza one. Pepperoni pizza. So, that's the number one thing I'm going to be chopping up here is not a sponsored brand, Giant Log of Pepperoni. It has an easy peel thing here. You can probably tell what brand it is from the color of the packaging, but packaging is, of course, not reclosable, so it has to come out of there in its entirety regardless. So we may as well just discard the packaging. There you go. One enormous log of pepperoni. I am a big fan of pepperoni, and I For a while, I used to always buy my pepperoni in a big log like this. And it's been a while now, and I got to see if they still have the little plastic coating on it. I was, in the past, caught out by there being an inedible plastic skin, which I believe there still is. There is a skin on it. So for a thing where you're stuffing it with pepperonis, I think the little cubes are a better choice than slices. Slices are good for when you're laying the pepperonis flat on something, like on top of a pizza. Little cubes are better for when you're stuffing, such as a Hot Pocket or a pizza roll or that type of thing. A taco. We can make pizza tacos. Don't forget to give your pepperoni a taste. Pepperonis. I need ingredient bowls. At least be able to see my audio without having to scroll down. Then something changed. You changed, man. OBS used to be different. Okay, get those guys in there. Get one of my delightful tiny onions, which I'm running out of because I keep using them because I love them so much. So yeah, it's going to just be a sort of a long, slow prepping of ingredients for the first part here. Perhaps not so long if I just have free reign and end up making them all pizza flavors. I'm using the little paring knife here because I got it out for the pepperoni log because of its thinness and sharpness for effectively dicing that thing up. But since it's already out, we'll use it for everything else too. I'm unsure if the onions will cook out very well enclosed in their dough prisons later on. Let's crack the compost open. We're generating compost now. I've got an old wrinkly pepper, like I often do. It's gone a bit wrinkly. It's still good. We're not going to use that spot because it's gone a little bit brown on us. fact, I will just cut around that spot. I can remove that lobe. This one's not going to be salvageable afterwards because it's already a bit wrinkly when I'm breaking into it. So we're just going to cut the whole thing now. And I'm just going to have to deal with extras. Ooh. Take the little flour dealy off the bottom there. Ugh, my eyes all of a sudden. I think it's the onion, not the pepper, because bell pepper doesn't do that. But yowza, my eyes all of a sudden are reacting as though I've been gassed with onion. So we might have extra of any or all of the filling ingredients, but that's fine. Things like diced onion and diced bell pepper are super easy to use, and I have no concern about there being too much. I'm actually more concerned about leaving some of the bell pepper unsliced because that means it's going to just go off on me. So, anybody who's here, how's your day going? How's your week going? How's anything at all? What's your favorite flavor of Hot Pocket? Have you ever had a Hot Pocket? Do you even know what they are? The real ones actually aren't very good, in my opinion. And I haven't had a real one in a very long time. I really need to get my act in gear and get back onto my regular schedule. I've let things get to me the past couple of weeks, and it has. Not just things came up. Some of it was things came up and interrupted me, but also, especially this past weekend, things came up and I just couldn't bear to face it. You guys here on the old stream, and then I didn't, and I missed some days. But we gotta get our act together. We gotta get our act together. We gotta get our act together. I need to hold myself accountable when I give up on myself. Pepperoni. You know what's a good flavor too? And I actually got these out in advance because I knew they would be a good flavor. Ham and cheese is the other classic pocket flavor. This is some frozen bacon. Can I get it off with the little knife? Yes, because it is very sharp. Although I'm going to use it doesn't have the reach, so I'm going to use the big one to finish it. But that little guy got us a lot of the way there. I'm probably going to trim the freezer burned surface off. There should be plenty of bacon. Bacon's a nice strong flavor, so you don't need very much of it. I think that there is a chronic overuse of bacon in things. Bacon is a seasoning, not meant to be a primary meat. But I think we're going to have to pre-fry the bacons, because I don't think that they're going to be cooked very well just thrown in. This is a particularly lean part of the bacon too, which is going to be good because we don't want a grease bomb inside of the pockets. They already are going to have an issue with that. So let's get out a pan and get these little guys frying up. And then they can get transferred into a bowl. As well. And I didn't say bacon and cheese, I said ham and cheese. And this is because I have this ham end that I want to use. Frozen boneless ham. Applewood smoked ham. It is still frozen, and it's actually still in its original packaging. We're going to get it out of there. I bought it on a whim. It was the smallest one they had because I'm not a huge eater of hams. But they had this little small one, so I went for it. Now ham, you can eat as is. Although this stuff is frozen, so you can't really eat this as is. You got to thaw it, but. Let's get it in a new bag. But ham's one of those things where it's good. It's a good flavor addition to things as well. A lot of these salted meat products are, in my opinion, better culinarily as a flavor addition rather than as a main course item. I don't really like to sit down to a ham, and ham is not my favorite sandwich filling. But it contributes a good flavor to things. Same thing with bacon. I would say pretty confidently a BLT is my favorite sandwich. And I think it needs just a bit of bacon, just light baconing. I quite like bacon, but I quite like bacon in moderation. Ham and also bacon were traditionally included in the very old French mirepoix mixture, as outlined in, what's that book called? Like the classic Manual de Cuisine or some such. Okay. We have two kinds of cheeses to go with these guys. these two kinds of cheeses, mozzarella and cheddar. I also got these cute little, it's a box of tomato sauce, which honestly is adorable. It says, hey, recyclable, but I don't believe this is actually recyclable. It looks like it's waxed paper. It's got a little foil pull tab, and it's also going to be contaminated with a lot of tomato. It might be compostable. Doesn't say it is. But in these little tiny containers, which is what I was most looking at when I picked it up, I was like, oh, that's perfect. I don't need a big container because I don't need very much of this stuff. A little tiny baby container, perfect. I'm not sure how much dough we're going to have when we roll it out. I kind of want to make a dessert one. I know Hot Pockets doesn't do dessert, but I kind of want to make a dessert one. And we've also got this squash. Which could be a good one. Although again, with that one, I'd have to pre-cook it because it would not be cooked enough enclosed in the dough. Apples, plum. Ooh, plum. Ooh, plum. And this is a little bit of an older plum too, so we had really very good luck with that roast plum last time. So I'm going to do plum. With a fresh knife. Oh my goodness, look at that tiny little pit. It's a good sign. Got a lot of plum and not a lot of pit. It's always hard to tell how much stone is going to be in the middle of your stone fruit. Toss our bacons around a little bit. So I guess we're going to dice up half a plum. Oop, the ad snuck up on me. There it is. The ad. Okay. I'm going to eat that part. Make it easier to slice. Oh, I love plums. Interestingly, I do not like prunes. I don't think they taste very good. But I love plums. I wonder if plum trees can grow around here. That'd be good. That'd be good. I would plant a plum tree if I could. And if I can't, I'll move somewhere where I can. Okay, plum. Plum is going to need a seasoning. When I did the roast plums before, it was seasoned with ancho chili and chipotle. So I went for a spicy sweet thing. We could do that again. The plum is pretty sweet on its own. It really doesn't need extra sugar. But it's not going to be roasted off the same way because it's going to be enclosed. Half the plum is perfect for this, so I will just have half a plum for either snacking, or I'll come up with some other recipe while things are baking, because there's going to be a bake time on these guys, the pockets. We're kind of waiting on that bacon to be all nice and rendery. And I am going to, now that it's oiled the pan a little bit, we're going to add all of our ham to it. We're going to have the ham and bacon combine into a single pig meat. Delicious pig meat. Although the ham does not need now excessive cooking, it was ready to eat as is, other than being frozen. So I can go. So those are my ideas. I'm going to do a pizza pocket, a ham/bacon pocket, and a spiced plum pocket. The spiced plum one might explode because there's a lot more liquid in there than there is in the other ones, just because the plum is pretty juicy. Clean up some scraps here. 3 might be too much. I don't know. I know I can get 2 pretty big calzones out of that amount of dough. I've done that before, and they were quite large. So I'm trying to think of how many I can get, depending on how big I want to make them, I suppose. They don't need to be rolled very thick. In fact, they should be rolled rather thin when we get that far. Because we don't want them to end up doughy. We want them to, by the time they're browned on the golden browned on the outside, we want them to be, the dough part to be fully cooked through. So they should be rather thin. Bookwoman, welcome in. Well, so far I've got pepperoni, pepperoni, onion, peppers, which will be combined with mozzarella cheese for a pizza pocket. We've just done a combo of bacon and ham, which will be combined with some cheddar cheese for the other classic Hot Pocket flavor of ham and cheddar. And then I was rummaging around and I found a plum, so I diced up half the plum, and I'm thinking of doing spiced plum. And I am also, at this stage, trying to think how much pocket space I'll have. So I think I'll have room for more options. So anything you would like to see? I haven't had real Hot Pockets in ages, and I'm not sure what the things are. A lot of this is grabbing whatever I've got on hand, but as we often discover, I've got a lot of stuff just randomly on hand, so I can often conjure up a something even if I hadn't planned for it. We've got the dough rising in the other room. I'm going to, since I don't need this much pepperoni on the short term, I've got some dried basil. I dried my purple basil. So I've got quite a bit of it. It's here. This is our purple basil. We don't have any fresh basil left, but we dried up a jar of purple basil here. So I can do my various seasonings. The green basil did not work out at all. It went really ugly brown when I tried drying it. Nope, should have just cut that into thirds. Oh well. We're going to pack up the rest of this pepperoni. We're going to freeze it. Pepperoni keeps well. Oh, I should have cut more off of this guy as well. Pepperoni keeps well. It's often at the grocery store just unrefrigerated. But for long-term storage, I still would rather freeze it up. And this is the most economical way to get your pepperoni. I don't have raisins, but I do have apples. We have some Gala apples here. And, ooh, I've got a mango too. Apples and plums and walnuts in one thing. I had to cut a little end off of that pepperoni log to fit it in the bag, so I may as well dice it up. Nuts. You want apples and plums. See, I was gonna do spiced plums as a main thing, like just the plums. I could add nuts to the plums. I do have walnuts. I have a couple different kinds of nuts. Snacking pepperoni. I'm curious as to why. Oops, sorry. Food in my mouth. I'm curious as to why you wouldn't think that plums could stay on their own. Walnuts. I do like the idea of the nuts. Give some texture, because the plums are going to go a little mushy. Just completely on their own. I should just have the paper towel. I need a paper towel like holder. That's what I need. Those are probably dirt cheap. But I like the idea of the walnuts. We're going to get out some walnuts. And give them a rough chop. Keep in mind, we're making these, I've called them Hot Pockets, and one of the key things about Hot Pockets is that you can make, is that they are, they come out of the freezer. So we can make more than I can eat, and I can store them, and then I can report back as to how they actually perform as a freezer option. So we can go potentially nuts with this. The only limiter is how much dough I've got, which I've used the same dough to make either a pizza that fills my entire large pizza pan, or a two very large calzones. So I feel like if we make these reasonably, why am I walking around with the little bowl of chopped walnuts? I feel like if we make these reasonably sized, we can go nuts, maybe. I probably should get the dough out, do these three options I've got here, see how much it actually takes up to make three little guys. They can live on this, and then we can, because I doubt we're going to use, I have a feeling that we are going to be able to do this in two waves. I'm gonna prep that sheet. We're gonna move stuff because we've got other things you don't know that I have that I have. We have a delicata. We have a breadfruit. We have some of these little skinny white eggplants. We've got a whole mess of shishito peppers. None of which has to be used. It's just things that I have on hand that I am now moving out of the way of myself because I'm going to need room to roll in this space here. Because I want to see what we actually look like when we roll this out in a big old sheet. Here are some jalapenos. I suspect I'm going to have more filling for potentially every type of filling than I need. Pepperoni left a grease trail on my table here. Okay. Let's go peek at the dough. It hasn't been rising for too long, but it's not going to rise a ton, and we also need to beat all the air out of it. Yeah, it's never going to rise a ton unless I leave it for hours. But that's fine. This is store-bought dough. The impetus for today's project was that I had some store-bought dough. let's just find out how much I've got. I oiled it, so it's very oily right now. I'm going to grab my cutter, break him crudely in half, drop off half, and I guess get rolling. There's bubbles in there for sure. Megs! Hello! Welcome, welcome. What's your favorite flavor of Hot Pocket, if you have one? Or what's your negative experience with Hot Pockets that means you've never had one? Either of those are good. Trying to make this a rectangle. Basic pepperoni. I also haven't had an actual Hot Pocket in a very long time. They are not on my radar these days. And normally I wouldn't even bring up a brand name like that, except that's basically what I'm making, are Hot Pockets. So. And we're finding out how much I can work with the dough here. I'm trying to make a big rectangle. We do have pepperoni. It is one of the toppings I got out. Cubed it myself. We bought a big log of pepperoni for it. Shoop. Get this end pushed out more. They're likely to be a little irregular, I think. Also, really trying to squeeze the bubbles out. There's bubbles in this like crazy. Which I would really rather not burst in the oven and poke holes in our pockets. So I'm really trying to roll us out. The pizza with the big bubble can be good if you like the big bubble, but it does create potential structural integrity issues for something like this. This dough is pretty strong, actually. It's resisting tearing as I sort of manually stretch it here. And this is only half of our dough. Actually, slightly less than half of our dough, so we can... So, I do have a few flavors already picked out, but I am open to new ones. Your favorite flavor happens to be one of the ones I already picked out, so... So if I... So a real Hot Pocket is about this big. So that would be that plus that much more, so we could probably get 3 out of this if I made them the size of regular Hot Pockets and they're sort of that sausage shape. They don't have to be that shape. I did want to go for rectangles. We didn't have to. We could have made little circles and done them like tiny calzones or empanadas. We didn't go that route, but that was a possibility. Gonna open this carton of tomato sauce, which we're trying for the first time ever. I love trying something for the first time ever on something I've also never done before. So if we start, I'm starting this in with pepperoni pizza 1, which is going to be some onions, some peppers, you got to be really sparse with the fillings on something like this. Some pepperoni. Some cheese. And some sauce. And that's probably too much. What the hell? I like my fingers. You know what? Before we go any further with this, I'm getting an egg wash ready. I think it's going to need it to help these things actually seal together. So we're doing an egg wash. And then any extra egg wash can actually go on the outside to give us that lovely golden brown exterior, which we're not likely to have without something on the outside of it. Egg wash wants a little bit of water. And a tiny whisking. So this is gonna be my first tester on this. Cut it off. Push our fillings to the middle. And egg wash. And then we take the top, plunk it on there, get all of our sides touching each other. Grab a fork and really smoosh them together. because they did not immediately stick, so I'm afraid they're going to burst. So to head that off, I'm going to go for the old smoosh them with a fork trick. Oh, that side still didn't seal. It didn't stick at all on this side. Let's push our fillings around in there a little bit more. This didn't stick at all on this side. Not even a little bit. That's not ideal because it's just gonna explode on that side. What if I take it, flip it over the top, and give that a pinch? Maybe. Okay, well, it's a little ugly, and that side hasn't sealed either. The end did. The sides did not want to, especially the thin side. Although it's starting to stick a little bit better now. Let's get this guy picked up. He didn't burst in my hand. I'm just gonna plunk him on the parchment, which couldn't even stay still long enough for me to get the first one of these on there. The top of our oven has gotten kind of warm, so I'm going to go ahead and not rest the pan there. Okay, that was a little tricky. I feel like we have enough flavors if I've got this many fillings. So let's make another one. This one is a classic Hot Pocket branded flavor. I wonder if the egg wash is counterproductive. I should egg wash the top, I guess. Because it almost felt like where the egg wash was is where it was not sticking. Like the egg wash was a fail egg wash. And I suppose I've never egg washed a pizza dough before. So maybe they don't like egg wash. It has been slightly oiled. I put it on the top to encourage browning. This one should be, in theory, easier. I'm not going to egg wash it. I'm just going to keep the fillings tucked in there. Yeah, that's already, it's adhering much better. I can give it a little pincher just to be sure, but it already seems like it's adhering way better without the little bit of egg in there. This is a really sturdy dough, too. Oop, it didn't adhere on this side because there was a piece of cheese in the way. We do need to probably stick. We probably need to vent them. Yeah, it really wants to sort of let go right there. Fine, I'll eat that piece of cheese since I can't push it in any further. making little squares. I'm going to lose track of which one's which is going to be half the fun, I think. Oh, damn it. Okay. It immediately released on the other side when I got it over there. So we're definitely having some sealing issues where it is not adhering to itself pretty much at all. I can, in fact, just open it right up. And if I can open it with my fingers, then the steam pressure from it baking can definitely burst it. These might end up as a mess. Okay. We're going to go for a pinch and curl. At this rate, I won't need to vent them because I'll just be able to see what they all are because they will all have exploded. Which I suppose is convenient for me, but also, please don't. Okay. Interestingly, the pepperoni one did not let go like this. I almost guarantee that that one's going to burst open. I can almost guarantee you that that one is going to burst open. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be an exciting time. But we're going to soldier forth. We're going to dial back a little bit on the filling on that one. If you're cooking for yourself at home, go ahead and lick your fingers at this stage. If you're not, please don't lick your fingers if you're serving your food to someone else. I wanted to give this one a little bit of spice, so we're going to give it a little bit of spice. We're going to fold this one way over. And like really seal it in a concerning way. Okay. That one's going to be an oddball. We're going to have to vent that one for sure. I bet you those ends are just going to open up on me. Yep. Okay. You're coming back, fruit pocket. These ends just don't stick to each other themselves, and they immediately try to unroll. So we are doing this, and we're kind of forcing them into each other. It's weird. And now, oh, the ham and cheese one is already partially unrolled, just waiting for me over there. Well, this is going to be exciting. I definitely have more ingredients than I need. I only got 3 out of that. 3 little baby guys. I think the dough might be too oily. I think you're right. Tell you what. Let's blot clear a bunch of our oil. I should have used flour. Flour would have probably been fine. Probably why the egg wash didn't work too. The oil repelled the egg wash. So let's blot loose some oil, since I think you're right. I think we have too much oil. Still a little bit of oil, but not nearly as much as just a moment ago. We still need to roll this guy. We can't just stretch him out because we got to squeeze the air pockets out. But now we're definitely in the realm of stickage. So let me go grab some flour. So I guess we'll have a head-to-head between the ones that are oily and the ones now that are going to be floury. Because I'm going to get some flour, because otherwise we're never going to roll this thing out. This is the bigger half as well, so we might end up with some successes over here. And have more successes than failures. Who knows? I've never done this before. I mean, I've done things not entirely dissimilar to this, so it's not like I'm completely diving into the unknown here, but as always, welcome to moderately experienced home cook. We gotta squeeze these ends all the way out to ensure that the bubbles aren't in there, like that one. Okay. This one feels a little bit more relaxed too, so I don't really want to over roll it if I can help it. Especially since we don't have it clinging to the work surface anymore on account of the flour. Okay, so instead of having more flavors, we're just going to have the same flavors, but I'm going to do them this way instead. I think we can really stretch the end pieces as well. A bit of this and that. A bit of that. And this. bring back the egg wash. Now that it's dry, instead of oily, this should give us a sticking surface, in theory. Still going to pinch it with the fork. Okay, we're going to have a funny shape here. Okay, for safety, fold and squinch with the fork. Tuck everybody in a little bit. Fold and squinch with the fork. And take off that weird tail. Fold, squinch with the fork. So it's been rolled and fork pinched as well as egg washed. So in theory, we should now have it pretty well secured. It's not obviously unrolling in my hand, so and I think I can get 2 more out of this, or 3 more out of this. Sorry, I said 2 and I was literally cutting 3. Especially if I roll this last bit up, turn it back into a dough ball. We're going to make one weird one out of that last dough ball. We can even get crazy with it, because I'm going to do the same 2 flavors here. And that last one, who knows, we could go nuts. We could make a plum bacon onion one. That might be too full. Especially since I can't get it all to stay in the middle. Come on. No, stay on the... Okay. Okay. We're doing this one way or another. Okay. Still having some staying in place issues. Especially this one that I definitely overfilled. Maybe it's just that the ham and cheese flavor is harder to fill, because there was this ham and cheese one that we had problems with before too. Or maybe I just overfill the ham and cheese because I feel like it needs to have extra filling. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just work here. That one came pre-vented because I tore it slightly. Okay. Okay. So how's everyone's day going? How's everyone's week going? I had a mentally trying weekend. And then I spent all of yesterday putting things right that I had neglected for the weekend. And that took up all of that day. And then we're back in the old Streamaroo today. How long do these bake? An amount of time that they require to do for doneness. Yep. I don't know. You think I'm following a recipe? If I was following a recipe, we they wouldn't be such a hideous mess. Until they burst. Until one of two B's happens. Either they burst or they turn black. I don't know. There's differing opinions from the various reference documents I looked up. Okay. We have this weird ball of dough for our very last one. This is probably going to be our best one because I think it's not going to be. I'm going to roll this guy out into a circle. I did just rework it in my hands a bit in order to get the pieces recombined. And that means it's got extra bounce back. But I believe I can get it rolled out into a circle and we can make a nice big one. Probably would have been smart to divide the original dough ball into 8 equal parts and make 8 little circles. That probably would have been the most logical thing to do. Okay, this guy. This guy here, we can do whatever we want with. The world is our oyster. I want everything. Pepperoni. Ham and bacon. Plums, which when I put them next to the pepperoni and the ham and bacon, it occurs to me that they are extremely meat colored, and I'm wondering if we can't use that to our advantage in a future project where I want something to look like raw meat, and use the interior of plums. Some cheese, some pep, some onion. That actually sounds really good. Pepperoni, plum, bacon, ham, onion, and nuts. Plums are not entirely dissimilar to figs, and I know figs are a like a real pizza topping, not a crazy nonsense one. In the meantime, while these are baking, which I have to imagine it's at least 20 minutes in the oven, I have all these extra ingredients, so I'll probably do something else. You know, get creative. I feel like the egg wash is not working the way I want it to. Let's see if I can't do a calzone. No, pinch and fold on this guy. I should have made them all like this. Honestly, it would have been easier if they were all round. I would have only had one long thing to work on, and then I can pinch that bit together. Okay. Okay. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Pick it up and see if any parts of it release. Doesn't look like it. Let's put it on our tray. It's sticking to my hand. And this is what we've ended up with. This guy has already started completely giving up on that seal I put on there. So let's see if we can't get him to at least have a semblance of a seal. Some of them are much worse than others in terms of holding together. Little sharp knife, where did you go? There you went. To head off explosions, we're going to give each one a vent, which real Hot Pockets don't have, and they're well known for exploding out the ends. So you know, if your homemade Hot Pockets explode, then I guess you know you've made them correctly. Okay, everybody's got a vent. We will give everybody a wash. Ah. Well, we will splatter myself with some of the wash. Egg wash is going to mean that we will not be able to really see the browning. They will brown according to the whims of the egg wash rather than the actual doneness of the dough. The oiled ones are the three here closest to me. So those are the ones I expect all three of them to just give up and explode. I think that's going to be our best one, even though it's the least Hot Pocket shaped one. And I should have made them all like that. In the oven with you nonsense. Oh, and an ad is currently playing, so huzzah. Huzzah, as the kids certainly do not say. No one says huzzah. I say huzzah. The kids do not say huzzah. They can't have that. That's my word. I claim it. I claim it as salvage since no one uses it anymore. What should I do with all the nonsense? What do we do with the extra? We, for one thing, get the caked on rolling flour off of our work surface. Do that now before we forget. Save the egg wash for tomorrow's omelet? I don't know it's going to be very good tomorrow. We don't have very much of the ham and bacon left. It's tasty. We have a good amount of pepperoni left. It's less tasty than this, but the pepperoni is really meant to be hot. This was the smallest quantity of onion I could dice without leaving an extra onion. Raw onion. Pretty tasty, actually. I knew I was going to have too much pepper because that pepper was wrinkly. I wanted to dice up the whole thing. So, pepper. Nuts, that's the odd one. And I used up almost the entire plum, so that was just about the right amount of plum, which is really surprising. Of course, I did not dice up the whole plum. I've got half a plum, which I would like to use the half a plum for something now. I have an idea. I have an idea. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We're going to cook the plum. Where did my bottle of oil go? It's not in the cupboard where I keep the oil. And I literally just used it today on the show. In this room. Where did I put it? Oh, I somehow put it behind. A little bit of olive oil. Heat on the pan. Heat on the pan. We're actually going to get that heat up on the pan. I'm going to snack on the little diced up pieces of plum. Because, man, plums are so good. I don't know why people go nuts for peaches. And I'm like, no, dog, plums. That's where it's at. So I'm getting the oil on the pan hot. I'm just going to slap that plum on there, cut side down, and see what happens. Make a dessert item. Because last time we cooked plums, we're cooking plums twice, two different ways today. Last time we cooked plums, it was a great success. It didn't make them overly sweet. It helped accentuate the tartness, and it made a really nice savory thing. But those were roast plums. So I guess we're just going to find out what happens when you just do it on the stovetop. I did not set a timer. Oh well. Oh well. Too late now. I guess we'll just eyeball it. Didn't sizzle instantly, but it sizzled within a few seconds. So I think it's hot enough for what I am trying to do. We're just going to find out what this does. We're just going to find out what this does when you do this. I know, somebody can probably tell me what it does, but it's less fun. I'm snacking all this stuff. The other ingredients I've got here actually would, including the walnuts, I think would make an excellent sauce for something. You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? Do I want to make that much sauce? I probably don't. I probably don't. I'm just snacking over here. But this would be like a good starter for a chunky sauce. The pieces are already diced small enough for something like a rigatoni, where those chunks could get caught up in the holes in the pasta. And all it would need is some celery to be a decent sofrito. And the nuts would give you an interesting textural contrast as well as an odd flavor that you don't encounter, but I feel like I've had nuts in things like that before and they work. You just have to trust that they're going to work. Like this, I'm just trusting that this is going to work. I should... I feel like just by itself it's going to be boring. We're going to make a quick, sweet yogurt. Because again, things I need to use up. Yogurt. You're just watching a black fruit in a black pan become black. So we're going to come back over here. I don't have a ton of this yogurt left. We got to use it up, so... Ooh, I forgot about those. Oh well. Something else I've got in there that I should have been using up. Half a can of diced black olives that would have been good in the pizza thing. I think I can smell this starting to try to burn on me. So let's see what it looks like. It's black. And blistery. Interesting. With a little divot in the middle. I was making a sweet sauce for it. A sweet yogurt sauce. For which we need sauce. I need yogurt and something sweet. I left it on. I flipped it over, left it on there, turned the heat down, not on. Trying to. Okay, golden syrup, and I'm going to add some sumac to this. Let's get you on a little white plate. It's got to be a white plate because you're all black. You're black on both sides now. The heat off on that. Okay. Well, it did what I thought it was going to do, in that it turned all black. Let's give this a taster. Wow, that's already interesting. It's sweet. Got a little bit of tang. Got a lot of fruitiness to it already. A little bit of salt. Chef's tip, salt pretty much makes everything taste better. It's actually really good. And it occurs to me that with this light colored sauce, I could put that on a dark plate and have it really pop out. So I think we're going to do that. This is essentially just a flavored yogurt, but it's tasty flavored yogurt. Our plum is bleeding a little bit. I'll lick that up. Mmm! Oh, damn, that's tasty. Completely on its own. Whoa! Whoa! Unexpected. Flavor bomb. Damn. That was just olive oil and a plum. But, whoa, you could do stuff with that. I gotta get more plums. I gotta get more plums. That was my last plum. I'm gonna try to put a little dollop of this stuff right in the middle without drowning it. Okay, I don't know if it looks good. I'm not really much of a plater. 15 minutes on the oven, huh? Let's take a peek. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 volcanoes out the vent hole and 1 side burst. And by the looks of it, it is the ones that have the cheddar cheese in them that are having the hardest time. Oh, no, we've had 2 side bursts. Sorry, we've had 2 side bursts and 4 volcanoes. And one of those volcanoes is the same as one of the side bursts. That one's having a rough time. The calzone is looking pretty good. The one that we made the proper way is looking pretty good. I'm going to leave them in there for at least another 5, probably longer. In the meantime, I think we did have to kind of undersauce them. I think we're going to take the remaining sauce, out of this little box. Sauce comes in a little box now. And we're going to warm it. Warm it with some herbs. We're going to use, it's going to have to be on the small burner toward the back. It's very lightly seasoned and it tastes a little raw tomatoey, like it's only been lightly cooked, probably so that it can be cooked again. So we're going to add a few things to it. Standard garlic powder, onion powder, which these days I put in pretty much all food items I cook. I just heard an explosion. Okay, yep, we had another leak. It's gonna be fun to get out of there. Yeah. I was gonna put some oregano and basil in there. That's what I was gonna do. Okay, some of my fresh basil, which we did not end up putting inside, so and I don't have my own oregano. I haven't grown oregano like standard Italian style oregano in a while because I find it annoying and it's frankly pretty cheap to just buy. So, oregano. And then we just stir this together and we cook it until it bubbles slightly. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna go take a photo of this weird little thing I made. And then I'll taste it. Because I want to talk about it. Because boy, it's the little piece of the plum I tasted. Oh, and the plum skin is bleeding magenta into our sauce. Okay. You let me know when I should check on those thingies, and I'm gonna give this guy a taster. Right meow. That's real good. The inside has become very, very soft, and the skin has a slight chew to it, which I believe it already had from the beginning. But the heating has caused the interior of it to become very soft. Oh, I'm disconnected from chat. Welcome back to chat. Okay, well that was weird. Let's see if I can get the top piece. Oh, my sauce is bubbling. See if I can get a piece of the top here without the, I was gonna say without the yogurt sauce. The yogurt sauce is subtle. It's mild. But it has its own separate fruity flavor. This is actually very nice. And the yogurt sauce itself, you could just eat. In fact, I will just eat. Because it's just sweetened yogurt with sumac and a little bit of salt. Yeah. The combination of the golden syrup and the sumac combine really well with the natural slight tang of the yogurt. I'm really actually very, very pleased with that flavor combo. Even without the plum. The plum is so interesting though, because it's got this toasty note to it. I wish I would have tasted it before I put it on the sauce. I'm setting myself up a little tomato sauce dipper over here. Let's see, that bowl's clean. We can put that one away. And we will check on our main course. See what we think of them. Ooh! They're definitely developing a golden brown. This is what they look like. This is what they look like right now. We have had burst. We had volcanoes there, and there. These actually don't look that bad as volcanoes. We had a side burst here. We had a major side burst there, which came off of this guy. It burst that way. This one does not appear to have burst out the side, and neither does that one. So we've only had one major side burst, and we've had one minor side burst. The volcanoes were expected, because that's what they were there for. That one volcanoed a little bit more than I had hoped. The fruit ones over here did not. I love the dark purple tone that they've taken. And our big weird calzone in the middle, its filling is trying to push its way out. Yeah, the cheddar cheese, the mozzarella too. The cheeses went nuts. But if you've ever had an actual Hot Pocket, the one of these that is most like an actual Hot Pocket is this one in the corner down here that burst its entire side open and dumped its contents onto the tray. That's what real Hot Pockets do. They just split open and dump all their stuff out onto the cooking tray. These guys are nice and firm. They got a good firm crust. They're golden brown. I'd probably say they're done. They're all volcanoing, which means they're all molten on the inside. All the ingredients in there were cooked and edible or edible raw already, so it's not like we were waiting for something to cook through. So I'm going to say they're done, and we got to figure out how to get them off of here, because I guarantee you that cheese has created some stickage. Also, hey, have you noticed we have an uneven oven? Because that side of the paper got way toastier than this side of the paper. I think they are good to go. I'm going to select a plate for them. And then we're going to try to get them off. What do you think? Tan stripey? Does that go with the golden brown? probably good enough. We could go. No, I know. We'll go black. We'll go black. Black? I think I want to go black. Give these a taster. There is an ad approaching in just a few. We're going to run that right now, so it doesn't interrupt me in a minute. Let me try to chip these guys off of here and onto our plate while that is running. Well, they certainly are a little irregular. Our big one stuck more than anybody else. I've lost track of which one is which. Oh, they're hotter than blazes. And our big calzone came off pretty easy. Okay. And even our fruit ones didn't actually like stick too badly. You guys back yet? Yeah, you're back. Even our fruit ones didn't actually stick all that badly. I was a little concerned the sugar might cause them to really glue down, but the parchment paper did its job, and they did not. They did not. And they've really filled up the plate. Okay. Here they are. I'm going to eat this. This is more than I can eat in one go, which is fine. That was the plan. But we should try to taste one of each type. Now, I have lost track of which ones among these are which. These are obviously the fruit ones, and that's obviously the big calzone one. I'm going to grab a photo of this. You guys let me know which one you want me to try first. We might not actually get to try all of them, depending on whether or not I can figure out which ones are which. I don't want to crack any of them open unnecessarily. We didn't lose nearly as much cheese as I had feared might happen. I don't really see much of a difference between the ones that we had oiled and the ones that we had floured, except that the ones that we had oiled kind of burst open more on account of the seals not working as well. Other than that, I don't really see much of a difference. So chat, any opinions? Which one should I partake in first?
This is really good. And it was super simple, too. Cooking with plums. Well, if nobody has an opinion, or... Oh, they're nice and brown on the bottom, too. They're hotter than blazes, which is also very much like Hot Pockets. We're starting with this one, because this one I know is pepperoni pizza, which is one of our classic flavors. I am very curious to see how the interiors came together. Our dough is cooked through, nice and fluffy. It's hard to see where I am. We have a little bit of an air pocket, but not too much of an air pocket. Actually, the fillings stayed pretty filled. I think the air pocket is where our cheese rolled out, because there's not a ton of cheese left inside. I think we lost most of the cheese from this one. We might have a little bit of a soggy layer at the bottom, but the outside of the bottom is nice and crispy. So, bon appetit, or sorry, bon appetit. Okay. It's tasty. It actually, the thing that jumps out at me most are the onions and the peppers. I think this could have stood to have a little more tomato sauce. Possibly a tomato paste. I think if you wanted to do this, you should use a tomato paste. But it's got a little bit of that savory pepperoni in there. Oh. Explodes all over the place. It's, as I've said a couple times, hotter than blazes. But it's definitely not that hot in my mouth. It's really hot in my hands. I lost a piece behind the garbage here, which is real sad. It's gonna be garbage now. The crust is great. This is an excellent use for these crusts. I think I just need to work on my folding technique and maybe not oil the things. What I've essentially made are little calzones. That one's a big calzone. But this is they're very nice. They've got a really good crisp on the outside of the crusts. Probably because of the egg wash. The egg wash definitely would have helped with that. But it's very nice. It's very satisfying to have a little crispy layer on the outside. You know, I said probably needs more tomato sauce, and I prepped myself tomato sauce because I assumed it would. And then I forgot about it. Promptly forgot about it. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. So a dipping sauce on the side for these pizza ones definitely is the way to go. Rather than try to get a bunch of sauce, because if you put too much liquid in there, you're just going to increase the volcanoing. So I think some tomato paste in there would be good, and then having a nice dipper on the side for it. Okay, let's put that half a guy back. See if we can't work out which one of these. Got to be this one, right? It's a middle piece. I did middles for the cheese one, so it should be this one and that one. For that cheese, they all, a bunch of them with cheese in it. Ooh, nope, still too hot to do that with. Too hot to just tear in half. The things retain heat like crazy. Oh no, that's another pizza one. Damn it. Damn it. Well, I mean, oh, dang it. I wanted to try that, the ham and cheese. The ham and cheese is the other, like, classic Hot Pocket flavor. Hold on. This guy. It's guaranteed to be because I just opened 2 pizza ones, so this one has to be the ham and cheese one. So I'll open this one up and it'll be pizza again. There we go. That's our ham and cheese. Now this one should be real tasty because I used good ham and good bacon. Yes. Soft, yes. It's a little dry. It's a touch dry on account of it not having any sort of wet ingredient in there. It's not a deal breaker, but I think if you made a big one of those with the ham and cheese, you'd be hard pressed to go through it. A little small one like this, I could knock it out before the dryness bothers me. But I think if you made a big one, it'd get to you. I think that could be solved by using a softer cheese, like a Cheese Whiz or something. Some like already partially liquid, or like a Velveeta, some already like partially liquid cheese that would then melt and make a really sort of saucy interior. Because that's what this one doesn't have, any sort of sauciness to it. Okay. I like that one. That one was good. I have to taste the Okay. Does anyone have an opinion between the remaining 2 flavors? Plum and walnut or everything? Reminder, the everything one has pepperoni, ham, bacon, cheese, onions, plums, and walnuts, and some chili pepper. We have 1 vote for plum and walnut. Let's have at it. I kind of figured we'd go that way, so I pulled it out. This was the one that I rolled all the way around itself in an attempt to make it not burst. And you know what? That super worked. So I think doing these like burritos instead of trying to do them like raviolis might be a solution. Ooh, this one's wet on the inside. This guy got wet. That's good. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's so hot. Oh shit. Damn, that one was lava hot. Holy crap. Now that's a true Hot Pocket experience. Bite into it, lava hot. I can barely taste it. It was so hot. Now that it's kind of equalized with my mouth a bit, it's really subtle. It's really understated. Obviously still has the flavor of pizza dough. It has the sweetness of the plum, but it's not really very strong. It's sort of this subtle fruit sweetness. And then it's got these lovely crunchy bits of walnut. That was actually an excellent suggestion, to throw walnut in there. Because you can see it better on this one, because I rolled it all the way around, both halves of the seam ended up on that side, so it formed a big, like, ball over there. And that's a little bit underdone, dough-wise. And on the other side, it's super thin, and you can see we had a little bit of a structural issue over there. It's nice. It's a nice, subtle, sweet kicker. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to break into that one because if I break into it, then I want to eat the whole thing. So we're going to save that one. I'm already split this guy open, so we're probably going to have to eat him now because they won't freeze. I don't think they'll keep once they're cut open. So I'm probably going to eat this one and then the remaining halves of what I've got there. Good thing I came hungry. This is nice. It's very subtle. And it's got a little bit of a spicy twinge to it because I put some chili pepper in there, which I think is a really good combo with plum. I may be very up my own opinion about that. I think that chili peppers, hot and smoky, are very good combos with plum. And you should give it a try. You personally. You, the one listening right now. Yes, you. Lurkers. Make spicy, smoky plums. Well, my prediction that we were going to have a little bit of a shorter day today, completely wrong. Completely out the window. Completely wrong. We shot over 2 hours, which means I'm going to wrap us up. I need a haircut. We're developing that sort of mad scientist helmet again. Let's see who is on at 6:45. I know who's not on. Slay, because Slay is literally in Ever's room bothering him right now. We could go visit the both of them. We've visited Slay in the past. Is Slay even there anymore? He's not on the screen. Maybe he's firing up his own and they'll be in the same room. Let's see who's on. Let's see who's on. We will be wrapping up here. I appreciate you. Oh, I know who we're gonna go see. Yed. We're gonna go see Yed because I love Oregon Trail. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out. I know my schedule has been just chaotic, and I've even said, "Hey, I'll be on this day," and then I didn't show up. Bug me about that if you're bugged about that. I'm bugged about that, so I'm bugging myself about that. I need to get down schedule. I need to write it out. I need to stick to it. I really actually do want to try playing spooky games here on the stream for Halloween, or at least for the lead up to Halloween. Maybe not day of, but so I gotta buckle down and just. It's not going to take for long. It'll take like half an hour tops to get my sound system set up. I just need to do it. Anyways, I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate the chit chat. I will be back. Nothing goes wrong. Thursday. Thursdays have been a really good day for me. Nothing else happens for me on Thursdays. It's a very no conflict day. So I've been able to stick to it, which is great. I know, I'm setting my bar really low. We're visiting Yed, who is playing Oregon Trail, which is a zombie-themed Oregon Trail. Check it out. See you next time. And then I stopped streaming.